Welcome back, everybody, to the Get Back Guys podcast. What is this, guys? This is episode 12, I think. 11? I think it's 11.
I thought it was 11.
It's 11, yeah. 11.
We should know by now.
Episode 11. We made it this far. We ramped up posting for Wednesday's episodes. We will have the NFC East, the final one, on Wednesday, the night before the first game of the year. Football's a week from today of filming. That's pretty
crazy.
cool.
So excited.
So we're going to go over the NFC South this week. Nick and Kyle, co-hosts, are here as always. So let's just talk about it real quick. We'll start with the Falcons. I'll start off. Falcons, I know they've been up and down since the Super Bowl run and slowly just a down. They've just slowly barely made the playoffs and they missed the playoffs. But I still love Matty Ice. I think Calvin Ridley is really good. We had a buddy in our league the other day take a shot at Calvin Ridley for no reason. He was like, hey, this would be on the worst picks you could have in fantasy team or whatever. And he picked a whole bunch of people and Calvin Ridley was on there, so shout out to Carson for throwing that out. Calvin Ridley's good. I like their running backs enough. Gurley I really like. I just don't know how the knee is going to come back. Defense is hit or miss. I do think Dan Quinn's seat is warm. I don't know if it's hot, but it's heating. That's for sure. And they've got beasts on that D line, so I think the Falcons will be middle of the road this year. I think they're going to be all right. Could go anywhere. I see them at anywhere from 6 to 10 wins, to be honest. Anybody want to chime in or move on to the Panthers?
You made a good point about Dan Quinn being kind of on the warm seat, not the hot seat necessarily, because he for sure was on the hot seat in the middle of last season. They did not look good as a team. Like, they were losing more than they were winning, but somehow the organization decided to stay put with him, and weirdly the team kind of flipped around. They still, didn't go to the promised land, but they also flipped their tune and was able to really start winning more than they were losing. And I think when it comes to, the offseason moves they've made, they've kind of been making the right type of moves. They've replaced Austin Hooper, who was a great tight end with them, with Hayden Hurst, who I think is a bit underrated. He was really underrated with the Ravens. They got Dante Fowler, I think, for almost a steal, if I recall correctly. They also swiped and got Todd Gurley, who we know he has that knee injury and whatnot, but even if he's, somewhat back to form, that's still going to be good for their run game, because their run game is really non-existent. I wasn't, in favor of their draft or anything, but I think with their offseason moves and them still having a really great passing attack, I could still see them kind of what Alex was saying, in that midst of the 6 to 10 range. So they're not, back to Super Bowl bound form yet, but at least they're trying to make some small moves in order to regain the stumblings that they've been taking and try to move into a more of a winning season.
Yeah, I think they're a decent team that's just stuck in a really tough division. I think if they were in a couple other divisions in the NFL, they would have a really good chance to win them. I think Matt Ryan is somehow underrated, even though, because since his MVP year in 2018, because they've gone 10-6, 7-9, 7-9, he's been still awesome. He had a great year, 38 touchdowns, I think, in 2018, so 2 years ago. I think he can win them some games. They played really well late the last 2 years and really bad early. I really like. I agree with you. They made some really good moves. Fowler's a good pickup. Todd Gurley is just low risk, high reward, I think, for them. He's going to give them more. As long as he's on the field, he's giving them more than what Freeman's been giving them the last couple of years. Their defense is a little too unpredictable, and the only way I see them kind of sniffing the playoffs, I think they're a decent team, but unless the Bucks or Saints fall apart, they're probably going to miss the playoffs, would be my guess.
Freeman just was hurt. Last year he finally was back and they didn't use him, but the year before he had tore his ACL or something, and I guess he just doesn't run the same, but then the year before that he was great because he earned that big contract. But all right, let's go on to the Panthers here. Can we just all agree here? Panthers roster is okay. Meh. We like Teddy, love Christian.
Bad.
They're going to be a bad team.
Yeah, their defense.
No disagreements there. Yeah.
Right. I think their offense could be a bit surprising for people. They got some playmakers, but it's just a defense that's really hurting, and we just don't know what's going to come out of Rule, the new head coach for the Panthers. We don't know how. I guess we just don't know what his coaching style is going to be like. We don't know how he's been involved with the team yet, or how good or bad it's been. So it's just a wait and see moment. It's just going to be a team that's having to rebuild under a new coach, new system. They're going to be playing catch up with their offense, but their defense is really going to make them a bad team, I think.
Yeah, and it's pretty impressive, though, to have Teddy Bridgewater be like, especially after what he's done last year and kind of him being healthy again, to have him clearly be the worst quarterback in the division just shows how good of a division this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, on to the Saints. Nick, why don't you take what do you think of the Saints this year?
I mean, they're going to be good. They always win regular season games, even if Drew Brees goes down. I think Jameis Winston can win them games. I have a hard time placing them. I've kind of been stained by the last 3 years going into the postseason, 17, 18, 19. I thought they were the best team going in every year, and every year they've had disappointing losses. Obviously, the
Huge
2018
losses.
one stings the most. But Drew Brees has lost to Kirk Cousins and Case Keenum 2 out of the last 3 playoff postseasons. That is concerning for their potential as a true contender. They made some great moves. I really like Malcolm Jenkins, and there's rumors right now that they are in the Jadeveon Clowney race. If they get him, I think they're a bona fide. If they're able to sign him, though, they're a very clear best team in the NFC, I think. Without him, I think they're a good team. I see them winning a lot of regular season games. I don't see them being like even in the conference championship, probably, though. Just because I don't know I just don't trust them in the playoffs after these last 3 years.
Yeah, I agree. Great roster. Kyle, you got anything else you want to add, or can we go to the Bucs?
It's kind of funny. Saints have kind of been in the ringer this offseason. I mean, it was unclear on like if Breeze was even coming back. And on top of that, like there was kind of some drama going on with what Breeze said in relation to the kneeling, but that kind of died down anyway. That Kamara contract stuff was weird, like just a few days ago. But even still, with all that stuff kind of coming in and out for the Saints, I still trust this team. I still trust Drew Brees. I trust Sean Payton to lead them to the promised land. Admittedly, they have not had the best luck in the playoffs, but I'm hoping that this could be the year. I am rooting for the Saints a lot. I just like them as an organization. So I think they will still be in the running. I haven't seen too many things involving their offseason to where it looks like they really took a dip or anything. I think they'll still always be competitive, still, in those 10 to 12 win range. And it just depends on how the playoffs go for them.
They also added Emmanuel Sanders, which is a really big pickup, I think, for them to kind of relieve some of the tension off of Michael Thomas, who was obviously incredible last year and is probably the best receiver. Obviously best last year and top 3 for sure this year.
Got Jared too.
Yeah, I think another interesting thing to keep your eye on about the Saints is if they do struggle at all, like if Drew Brees' arm isn't as big and all of a sudden they lose a couple of games and their season ends up being bad again and they say somehow they missed the playoffs, Sean Payton, I think, is an interesting case because Saints haven't done anything. They've just been disappointing for the last decade.
They hadn't won in a
bad
decade.
Playoff losses. Well, they've lost to a 7-9 Seahawks team in the playoffs. They've lost to Case Keenum, Kirk Cousins in the playoffs, and they also lost in 2011. So
they missed some time.
There's a lot of bad playoff losses there, and then they missed a lot of years. So Sean Payton, depending on how their season goes, if they make the playoffs and just lose, same old. But if they miss the playoffs, Sean Payton could be on the hot seat, I think.
Yeah. All right. Bucks. For myself, I think the Bucks got a stacked roster. I like their offense more than I like their defense. They got some boys on that defense, though. I could honestly see the Falcons, Saints, or Bucks anywhere from 6 to 10, double-digit wins. I don't see the Panthers winning more than 5 games, to be honest. We'll get there, but Bucks, if Brady's arm looked weaker last year, he can still throw it, obviously, but his arm looked weaker. I don't think Gronk is this huge, great asset that everybody thinks he is. He's definitely helps, but I don't think he's going to come in as this elite tight end. I I think they're going to be good. They're going to be a real good team. I love Bruce Arians to death. So, yeah, you guys got any thoughts on that?
Nick, why don't you go?
Yeah, I think they're going to be really good. I think their offense is insane. They probably have the best receiving core in the league, just top end of 2 Pro Bowl caliber guys, 2 all-pro caliber guys, really, in Godwin and Evans. Gronk, I think, just with Howard and Cameron Brate. Then you add Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones, and they also drafted that lineman in the first round. Their offense is set up perfectly. This is the most weapons Tom Brady has had in 13 years since
it might be the most
2007?
weapons he's had ever. It might be the best.
Yeah, there's an argument for it. So even if his arm, it doesn't really matter because his brain's still there. I think it's going to be interesting to see how he fits in a Bruce Arians gun offense. I think their biggest concern, they have a great linebacking core, which I think is going to really help them, but their secondary is something that they could get into some shootouts. But I still think I would not be shocked if they won the division. If the Saints slip a little bit, I think the Bucs are right there.
All right, let's get it. Kyle, go ahead.
No, honestly, my thoughts were going to be short. I'm just in the same camp as you. This Bucs team is going to be really interesting. And it's going to be weird seeing Brady in different colors. So I'm curious about them, though. It's a really promising team now. So anyway, let's get into it.
All right, first game of the year, Seahawks at Atlanta Falcons. I think we all agreed Seahawks when we did this before. We don't roll over, but I would stand by that. Hawks get a win.
Yeah, I think it could come down to last possession, but Seahawks get a win.
All right,
Yeah,
Falcons starting at an 0 and then loss, and then they go on the road to play the Dallas Cowboys. I go Hawks because I hate the Cowboys.
I'll go Cowboys and
Falcons.
let Kyle choose.
Ooh,
smart play there, Nick.
I would say Cowboys on that one. Yeah, I think their defense is it's still a solid defense, I think.
So that's a loss for the Falcons. Wow. So Bears at Atlanta Falcons. Do we think that whoever at quarterback offense is gonna get him?
I think Atlanta gets their first win.
Yeah,
I think their offense is good enough to not be scared of Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn, and I think their defense will be able to make some plays against that Bears offense.
I agree.
And I'm outvoted.
Do you disagree though? Do you actually think the Bears are going to beat the Falcons? You think the Atlanta Falcons with that roster are going to start 0-3?
Not necessarily. I just see it being a tough competitive game. Honestly, it could have gone either way for me.
But I think the Falcons win it. Semantics over here.
That's fine.
Falcons at Lambeau Field against the big old Green Bay Packers. I'm going with the home team. Give it to the Pack.
Yeah, I think the Packers. There's been some battles back and forth between Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers over the years. A lot of blowouts on both sides. Last time they played, the Packers got the best of them in this kind of stretch of 7-9 that the Falcons have been held to. I'll go Packers.
For the listeners, he is wearing a Packers hoodie.
Yep.
Kyle, do you also think that'll be a competitive game?
I do, in fact, think it will be a competitive game.
Kyle, when we get to the first game you do not think will be competitive and it's going to be just an absolute slaughter, I would like you to chime in then.
I'll be happy to.
I feel like with you, every game is going to be pretty close and pretty competitive. Panthers at Falcons. Kyle, did we get to our first blowout of the year?
I was gonna say this next one will probably not be competitive. I do see the Falcons being able to tear up the Panthers defense with that passing game.
We said the Packers get a win.
I agree.
Didn't we? I accidentally put a win for the Falcons.
Alex.
I'm sorry. Falcons then on the road to play the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings.
I'm going to go Minnesota because last time they beat the Falcons, remember first game of the year, Kirk threw 9 times in that game or something like that?
Did he really? Wow.
Yeah, and they beat him handily.
That game? Yeah, where
that was the
Dalvin
first
ran
game of the year, yeah.
all over him.
Yeah, I think the Vikings could have a slower start to the year, but I think by then. But obviously, Matt Ryan, you're never out of it because he's that talented, I think.
I'm going with
He's not going to
Atlanta.
throw 9 times.
I'm going with Atlanta.
Well, Alex
I'm going with Atlanta. I think that they've got a chip on their shoulder from that game you brought up. And I don't know what to expect from Minnesota. I feel like I know what I'm gonna get some. I think the Falcons are better than them, and I like their quarterback more.
I lean towards Vikings. I just think their defense right now is still as strong as.
Excuse me.
I think their defense is stronger than the Falcons. So.
All right, that's another loss.
I agree, especially with the pickup. It would be different if they didn't just trade for Ngakwe.
They did trade.
Yeah,
Ngakwe. All right, you got me there, but Falcons still got that big boy Vic Beasley out there.
No, they don't.
Oh, who's their D lineman? Then? Who am I thinking of?
Dante Fowler. That's who they.
Yeah,
he's the linebacker. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Fowler. That's what I was thinking of. Lions at Falcons the following week. Kyle, why don't you start this one off? Is it competitive, Kyle?
You know it's competitive. Stafford against Matt Ryan.
Matt versus
They're going to be slaying the ball all over the place.
The Matty Bowl.
I would say Falcons. I just don't trust what the Lions are doing over there, like especially on the defensive side. I don't know. I'm not high on the Lions, so I'm going to lean towards the Falcons on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Falcons as well. I think, though, that this game, I think Matt Stafford and Matt Ryan are both really in that same category of like borderline elite quarterbacks, can have great MVP caliber years. You saw that in 2011 with Matt Stafford. I think these teams both have great offenses, but I will go with the Falcons because I'm just so unsure about the Lions.
To me, I think Matt Ryan is definitely above Matt Stafford, and I love Stafford, but, I mean, Matt Ryan's been to a Super Bowl, and Matt Ryan's got an MVP, and Matt Ryan has been in more playoff appearances.
It's true, but
I like Matt Stafford.
Matt Ryan,
I just think Matt Stafford is a B quarterback, and Matt Ryan is at least a B+ to an A-.
Well, I'm just talking about, like, I think at their peak, I mean, Matt Stafford in 2011, he threw 5,000 yards and 41 touchdowns, and the only reason he didn't win MVP is because Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers had 3 of their best years ever that year as well. I think Matt Stafford has just gotten. He threw 30+ touchdowns a couple other times. I think 2015.
Just saying, I like Matty a little more. Put him a notch above. So that's a win for the Atlanta Falcons.
I mean, I agree, but I think they're similar.
We said a win for the Falcons.
Yeah. Yeah, we all said Falcons.
So then they go on the road to play big old Carolina Panthers and that Christian McCaffrey-led offense. I think we can all agree win for the Falcons. Do we think the Panthers are going to go 0-6 in the division? No.
Yeah.
But I
because I don't think they're losing. I don't think they're losing to the Bucs, the Saints. So if they're going to,
I think they lose to the Bucs.
They're going to win a game.
You know why? I'll give you my reasoning right now. Tom Brady loves to lose a late division game to the worst team in that division, and for years that was the Dolphins. And Brady's got to keep tradition going.
And the trend continues.
I know. I guess I'll vote Panthers. I'll vote. Okay.
Kyle, you think Falcons win?
I do.
All right. Sorry, Nick. I don't think they go 0-6 in the division, though. I just think the Falcons will get them. Drew Lock, the answer, Broncos at Atlanta Falcons. Nick, who's winning that one?
I'll go Broncos. I think they're going to be playing really good football by this point in the year and take down the Falcons, a team that's going to have some big wins and some bad losses.
I agree.
All right. I'll agree with that.
Same. All right, that's a loss. Now they're going on the road to New Orleans, playing the Saints. I think the Falcons win this one.
I think the Saints win because it's in New Orleans, and I think they're a better team.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all.
I'll go with the home team advantage, but now I am curious about what their win record has been the last few years between each other, but that's something I'll look up later. We can keep going.
The only reason I said Falcons is just because I feel like in all the episodes we've definitely given the home team such an advantage on those wins. So I'm just going to go the other way today. I just think it'll be the other way. I think they'll split. I just think it'll be the other way because sometimes that happens. So why not? But still a loss for the Falcons. So Raiders at Atlanta. That'll be kind of, I think, a sneaky fun game. But I don't know. Somebody else go.
I'll go Raiders, actually. I think Derek Carr could be playing pretty good, and I think the Falcons are going to have some bad losses. Yeah.
Yeah, you could say this game's a little competitive. You could say that. You could make that argument. Yeah, I don't know. I'll lean towards Falcons. I do like Derek Carr a lot, but I just have more trust in Matt Ryan and his weapons as compared to Derek Carr having some really young weapons, though promising. I just trust the experience on the Falcons more than what Derek Carr has to deal with. So I'll lean towards Falcons.
I'm going to go with Falcons, too, just because I'm looking at the rest of the schedule, and I know how many wins we've given them so far. At this point, we've given them 4 wins. And after this, they're going to go Saints, Chargers, Bucks, Chiefs, Bucks. And I think that's a brutal end of the year. And I think they're going to at least win 5 or 6 games. So I'm at least going to give them a win here against the Raiders. But I think that could go either way.
Yeah, that December is going to be rough.
So, yeah, then they go and play the Saints again. But I have that in New Orleans again. That's clearly a typo on your boy Al's part. Let's go figure out which one.
It's at Atlanta.
Oh, you're looking at it?
We had the Saints winning the first one.
We did.
Yes.
I'll go Falcons gonna win here.
Alex, do you agree?
Yeah, because that's what I said earlier. So we got to keep on pace here.
Oh, my bad.
Well, I said that they would beat the Saints in New Orleans because I feel like I think they will split, but we've just given so many home team advantages. So I'm just sticking with that. I think if the Falcons are at on the road or at home, I got to keep to myself. I was outvoted before, but I think that could go either way. Do we all agree they'll split though?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So now they go and play the Chargers on the road. Man, if Derwin James would be back by this point, but is he playing well?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You don't think he'll be playing well? He's only supposed to be out 6 to 8 weeks.
I thought it was 6 to 8 months.
I think it's weeks.
Oh, is it weeks? Oh, I must have read that wrong.
They would have just said end the year if he was out.
Yeah, that's why I was... Okay, that makes more sense then. I was like, why are you saying months? That's the end of the year at that point. Okay, so maybe it is 6 to 8 weeks. You're probably right.
But I don't know if he'll be coming back playing well. I don't know. Herbert could be in. I'd give it to the Falcons.
Yeah. I think the Chargers are going to have a bad start to the year, especially without Derwin James. Then they're going to put Herbert in. Herbert's going to struggle. I go Falcons all the way.
I see the reasoning.
Even with Bosa and Ingram.
Yeah.
So then Bucks at Falcons. I think the Bucks will beat them, even in Atlanta.
I think so. I think the Bucks will sweep them because they play them so late in the year. The Bucks are playing really good.
I agree. Unless the Bucks have a locked-in seed and they're resting that last game of the year, outside of that, I think they win. So are we
unless they're just terrible.
Are we going with 2 wins then for the end of the year?
2 losses.
Or 2 losses, excuse me. So the Bucks will beat them twice. We all both agree? All agree?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they play
sure.
back-to-back weeks?
No, because the Chiefs are in the middle of that.
Oh. And we think they lose to them?
I
Yeah.
think so, especially if the Chiefs are fighting for a spot.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
Sounds
All
good to
right.
me.
We have the Atlanta Falcons going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9.
Sounds about right. They've won that last 2 years.
Jeez,
Yep, it's
last
in my
2 years,
range.
that's crazy.
Yeah, they missed the playoffs in 2017, going 10-6, and then they went 7-9 last 2 years.
Yeah. Jeez.
All right,
They're crumbling, man.
let's move on to the Panthers. Raiders at Panthers.
Loss.
Nick wants
Loss.
to rapid fire. Let's see how fast we can get this out then. Nick wants a good old rapid fire round. Kyle, do you agree? I do.
That the Raiders will win?
Yes.
Yes.
Loss for the Panthers. All right. Panthers at Bucks.
Loss.
I think we all agree there.
Yeah.
Panthers
We
at
all
Chargers. No Derwin James.
Win.
Yeah.
I'll give them a win.
I think they get 3 or 4 wins.
Cards at Panthers. Kyler Murray running all over. Oh, Nick says get out.
Lost by 100. Lost by 100.
Nick's saying 107 because you know you're going to draft
Triple
McCaffrey.
digits.
Nick needs at least a touchdown from McCaffrey. So we'll get 100.
True, if I get McCaffrey,
7.
fun fact, fantasy football, if I get McCaffrey, it'll be the 3rd straight year I had him in his breakout year, and then foolishly, people didn't draft him. I got him with my 3rd overall pick last year. Let's hopefully I get 1st overall pick this year, boys.
Unless you're shout out, I'm going to take a shot here. Shout out to our buddies over at the Expansion Buddies podcast, where Justin over there is saying, I might take a tight end here at number 1 if I had the overall pick. Get out of here with that, Justin. You got to have him on.
He did
soon.
say that. He did say that.
That's tough to hear.
Panthers at Falcons. We already had that determined. That's a loss. Bears at Panthers.
Win?
No.
I mean, Teddy.
You know what?
Teddy's terrorized the Bears in the past.
That attitude. I'm on Nick. Don't you come at Nick with that attitude, Kyle, ever again.
What attitude?
I'm with
What am
Nick.
I doing?
You were rude to him. You said no. We're gonna give the Bears
What?
a loss here. You kidding me?
Well, I don't know. The Panthers' O-line is not very strong.
Well, either
Teddy's
it's the Bears
mobile.
pass rush.
Hey, all they
What
need
was
to do
that?
is put in an extra lineman and they'll be all right. Say that again, Nick.
The Bears pass rush is pretty weak too, so
Oh,
could get better.
All right.
They
we're
got
giving
Robert
the
Quinn
Bears
now.
A loss. We're taking a shot at our buddy Zach. Kyle said something in a tone to Nick I didn't like, so I've switched my vote.
I don't even think I said anything. What is this?
Oh, we'll play
Collusion between the brothers.
We'll play the tape back. Oh yeah. And if there's no collusion during the Eagles, then I might just not edit the episode. Panthers at Saints.
loss.
Falcons game was predetermined a loss.
Loss.
Panthers at Kansas City Chiefs.
Loss.
Bucks at Carolina Panthers.
Loss, I think.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Nick to say it. Lions at Panthers.
Well,
No,
Win.
get out of here.
no, I agree with Nick. I agree with Nick.
They have to. They're not winning 2 games. They're gonna win like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
maybe
and their
5,
third game's
if Teddy's
coming in
playing
the
good.
second to last game of the year when they play the Washington TBDs. Get out of here. Lions
Well,
and
I
Matt
think they'll beat
Stafford
the
are going to
Lions.
shred them. All right, I was outvoted. That's a win.
I don't know. I believe in the Panthers wideouts. They could probably do
Kyle's
something
also viewers. Kyle's Lions bias because he did a whole like 5 years with the franchise mode on Madden with the Lions, and now he's in love with them.
I learned a lot.
So this guy's obsessed.
I'm in love with them, but yet I'm saying they're nothing special.
We all know when Kyle thinks of the Lions, he thinks of him throwing passes and throwing 55 touchdowns to Kenny Galladay.
I did get them at a Super Bowl, a couple of Super Bowls, so I think I'm doing something right.
Making Lions fans happy. Panthers at Vikings. Vikings.
Loss. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drew Lock and the answer in Carolina, loss. The answer's coming into town. You're not doing nothing. Panthers roll into Lambeau.
Loss.
Panthers play the TBDs. Win.
Loss.
Win.
Yeah.
Kyle says win.
Therefore,
Saints
it's a win.
at Panthers, loss.
Do you think the Panthers will, like in the second half of the year, like start improving a lot, kind of like what the Dolphins did? Like they looked really bad the first half, and the second half they kind of found their own. They still lost, but they still.
I feel like they're going to be mediocre all year unless their defense, like their offense is going to be decent because they have such a good running attack. Teddy doesn't turn the ball over, and they do have a couple of decent receivers. Yeah. But their defense is bad enough, and their offense isn't prolific enough. Like it's good, but not insane. That I think they're just going to lose. Like I could see them losing a lot of like 4-point games this year. A lot of close games where it's like they're a year or two away from actually being pretty good. But just not enough talent to get it done in those close games.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too. I think that'll especially happen the second year. Like, I think Rule could be able to pull this team together. But again, we just don't know. Just possible.
So what's the last game of the year, Alex?
We already did it. Saints.
I think that was the last game.
They're going 4-12, baby.
That sounds about right, I think.
A little sad face on the old board here. All right, let's rattle through here. Saints and Bucks divisions. Starting Saints schedule. Bucks at Saints. Who's winning the first game of the year? I think they split. I'll give it to home field. I know I had my big spiel 20 minutes ago with Falcons. I'll give it to home team. This is gonna be competitive. I'm gonna give it to the home team.
I think I'll give it to the Saints because I think they. For as good as I think the Bucks are, I think they're going to be better than people expect them to be right away. Just because Tom Brady, one of the best parts of his game is just how smart he is. So I don't see a lot of trouble with him getting the ball to his playmakers early. But the Saints have been around a long time. They're coming off of a brutal playoff loss. I'll go Saints.
I could just see Brady wanting to prove something right away. Like, make it be the statement game of, like, look at me, I'm on a new team, I'm making the wins happen, especially against Drew Brees and the Saints.
Does that click?
I think it could.
I just don't know if it clicks in week one. I don't know if that offense clicks and gets going in week one. Against the Saints on the road, I just don't know. But I do get what you're saying.
Fair enough.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah. You can finish your thought.
Oh, that was about the basis of it. Like I could just see that being one of those games where it's a statement game for a guy, and he'll do what it takes to win. So, but I understand about the Saints though. It makes sense.
Should be a fun one,
right?
Yeah, it will.
Then we got Saints at Raiders. I think on the road they get a win.
Saints, yeah.
I just remembered something. Don't the Saints have this weird thing where they suddenly go like 0-2 in the first 2 weeks, but then they just pop? Didn't that happen like
that?
2
That
years
happened a couple years ago. I think 2017 and 18 it happened.
Oh, maybe not last year then. Well, I don't know. It was just something that just popped into my head.
Yeah, they were better last year, right?
Yeah. I would still go with Saints, but.
So then Packers at Saints. I'd give them the first loss of the year here to the Pack.
I'll
Even
take
at
it.
Home.
I'll go Pack. Works with me. I'm outvoted.
Lions. Saints at Lions.
Saints.
Saints. They're better roster.
Saints are they're just such a great regular season team.
Postseason.
Chargers at Saints.
Playoffs.
No Derwin James. I'm going Saints.
Saints.
Yeah.
Herbert is bad.
Then they've got to win. Stop hurting my boy Herbie Sherbert.
He's great on Hard Knocks, though. He's great on Hard Knocks. He's got a great flow.
He does, and they love him. I'm a couple ups behind on Hard Knocks. Saints at Bears. Because they won the Panthers game. We had that predetermined. Now they're playing the Bears. I get
Saints.
it. They got Mac. They got Fuller. They got that other guy that Zach talks about. But they got nothing. Saints.
I'll go Saints as well.
Yeah, I get it.
If it's Nick Foles playing, it's definitely Saints because he has not beaten them when he was with us. Ever. He couldn't beat him with Chip. Couldn't beat him with Doug. Although
apparently there's reports at camp. Apparently there's reports at camp that like neither quarterback, Mitch or Foles, have. Yeah, like they just haven't beaten each other out. I'm like, you'd think Foles could be able to.
I don't know if it's they haven't beat each other out. I think they know who's starting. I just don't think they want to share. I think they're trying to really tick Mitch off to make him work harder. And I think Nick doesn't care because he has $90 million in the bank and a ring.
I think a quick hot take on the Bears real quick. If they miss the playoffs, I think there's a chance we look back at how they handled this offseason and the Khalil Mack trade as just other examples of their GM being just awful because it seems like they jumped the gun on them being contenders. But that's a hot take for you.
Double doink.
Continue on.
Saints at Bucks.
We don't need to talk about it.
We agree they split the difference here. Saints at Bucks. So they get a loss here. Beat them earlier in the year.
Yeah.
49ers at Saints.
I'll go 49ers, actually.
I'm going to go Saints.
49ers could have their wide receivers back finally. So I could see because of having more weapons back, I could see that offense being a little bit better, and it could easily be able to contend with the Saints. I mean, we saw it last year too, so I could see them being able to pull out a win. The Niners can.
All right, that's a loss. Then they have a win against the Falcons, and then at Broncos, Drew Lock, the answer. I'm going Broncos. Answer. Von Miller.
I'm going
They're
Saints.
Ready. Yeah, you're right.
I don't think the Saints are going to lose 3 in a row.
They didn't. They have the Falcons win in there. They have the Falcons in there. Yep. They went Niners-Falcons, so they would lose. They would lose 4 of their or 3 of their last 4. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I'd give them a win against the. Yeah, I'd give them a
probably
win
against the Broncos. You're right. You're right. Kyle, you agree?
I'm teeter-tottering, but I'll join you guys on it.
Oh, I wish I could be on a seesaw.
It's a fun time.
A loss to the Falcons, and then they go into Lincoln Financial Field to play the Eagles. That's a loss. So then they go and play the Chiefs.
Should we go back to that? Nick wasn't stopping. should there be a conversation of some kind?
Nick is shooketh. He's shooketh.
Nick was like, that's the dumbest question Kyle has ever asked.
No, I'm
going
to give it to the Saints.
Real quick. We discussed which division we wanted to do tonight. If we wanted to do the East or the South. And Nick goes, we're not doing the East because I've got things I got to do after filming. And Al was going to argue and talk forever on every point. So fair enough. Yeah, we'll probably lose to the Saints. Yeah. We don't need to talk about it. Just
I mean, Jalen Rager's never going to see.
Stop!
Rager's never going to see the field.
I'm gonna mute you.
This is what Alex was avoiding.
Jalen Hurts is going to be starting.
I'm okay.
Alshon Jeffrey.
Saints. You're talking a lot of smack for a guy who traded up for a quarterback.
Hey,
Chiefs.
we might get Mohamed Sanu.
Okay,
we might get Mohamed Sanu.
You might. We might.
Probably
get
not.
Sanu.
No.
All right, get out of here. You come taking shots at me, I'm going to take shots at you. All right.
The Seahawks got Josh Gordon.
Saints. Yeah, he'll be suspended in another few months. Saints, Chiefs
Don't
at
be
Saints.
mean.
Are you kidding me right now? Oh, my gosh.
I can play
Chiefs
that game.
At Saints. Chiefs win. I go Chiefs.
Yes.
Vikings at Saints. I want to get out of this conversation. Vikings at Saints.
Vikings.
Saints.
Saints can't play against them.
Oh, Nick got us. He got us. His logic is
That's a good point.
I'm going Saints. Kyle, you pick.
I have more trust in the Saints, I think.
Well, where'd that trust get you last year, Kyle? Where did that trust get you last year?
Not very far.
A loss.
That has the Saints going 11-5.
Yeah, that probably sounds right. Unless Drew Brees' arm goes full Peyton Manning in 2015, I think they are
water weenie.
Yeah, I think they're.
Do not want to see that.
That sounds actually pretty close to what they'll be. They have a great roster.
Yeah, I saw that with Peyton Manning. Do not want to see that with Breeze.
I just realized on the board I wrote bus. I didn't put the C in Bucks. So they've been playing the buses the Tampa Bay buses. I kind of like that. Maybe that'll be my fantasy name, the Tampa Bay buses.
Soon enough. No, get it? The Washington buses.
The Washington.
Yeah, Washington's like, so close. Could have gotten it.
All right, Bucks. Their schedule starts at the Saints at a loss, and then we have Panthers with a win, and then they go on the road in Week 3 to play the Denver Broncos. I think they get a win there. I love the answer, but it might take a minute to get that offense to click. So I go Buckies.
I agree.
Then they play the Chargers with no Derwin James. Do we go Bucks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Derwin James is a monster, and not having him, they still have Casey Hayward and Chris Harris, but that's tough.
Now, Bucks at the Bears. Nick's hot take, hot-seated Bears. I think this is a win.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Just because the defense on the Bears is good, their offense on the Bears is so bad, and I think their defense can handle the Bears, and I don't think it's the other way around. I think they've got one side of the team is better.
I think the biggest thing is if the Bears are going to win that game, whoever's playing quarterback is going to have to play awesome because they're going to have to win it throwing the football because they're not going to be able to run on the Bucs defense. They'll have to exploit those cornerbacks and safeties. I don't see that happening.
All right, Packers at Bucks. As much as Nick is on my bad side right now for what he did earlier, I'm going with a loss. As much as you're mean to me, I will defend your pack. You got it? I'm going with a win.
Go,
for the
Pack, go. Yeah, me too. I love it.
I don't think they'll win 5 of their first 6 games. I think they'll win. I think they'll lose there. Kyle's just nodding his head for the viewers listening at home. Bucks at Raiders. I think win for the Bucks. I like the Raiders. Will be competitive, but I think Bucks at Raiders. And then at the end of the game,
I'm gonna go Raiders.
No.
Explain yourself.
I'm just gonna go a slight upset. I think the Raiders are gonna get a couple of weirdly big wins and then some really bad losses. And I think Josh Jacobs is good enough to run on that defense, and I think I don't know. I think Hunter Renfrow could have a really good game too if he's as good as we think he is, and that defense is underrated. So
I have the upset coming next week, so that's funny. I go Raiders, and I think at the end of the game, Brady and Gruden have this big convo that the media talks about for like the whole week. I don't know. I don't know what they'll say. Gruden will be like, "Man, I wish you were my QB," and Brady will be like, "Man, that would have been all right." Was Bill really that mean? Yeah, they'll have some weird long combo when the Bucks beat them. So, Kyle, do you go win or loss?
Gonna cause a media frenzy.
Yep.
I'll say win. I'll say win for the Bucks, but it could be a close game too.
I think then they go on the road to play the New York Giants. I think baby Eli, Danny Dimes, cements himself as the next Eli Manning who can beat Tom Brady. and he beats him. I think Saquon runs all over him. I think Eli calls Danny Dimes up and says, "Hey, baby, Eli, I got all the pointers right here for you, big boy." And then I think Peyton comes in because Peyton hates him because you saw the golf shots he was taking during that tourney. That's a win for the Giants all day, and I hate the Giants. Win for the Giants here.
I'll go with you. Win for the Giants. Easy.
I actually like that a lot too. I'll do it just for the fun of it.
Have you seen the image of Eli Manning and Danny Dimes in that bar last year when he literally looks like he's his dad? It is incredible. They're in matching outfits.
Yeah.
It's the best. All right, so then Saints at Bucks. I think we had that predetermined. We have that. That's a loss, right? Because they lost a win for the.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Bucks,
No, it's a win for the Bucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
man,
they
bad.
lost early.
Man, they are
our bad listeners and viewers.
Bucks are. Brady said not only do they have a stacked roster, but they got that easy first place or last place schedule. I'm going there. Because then they play next. They go and play. I mean, not that the Rams are easy. I'm just looking at all these W's we got for them. So now they play the Rams.
Yeah, they have
in Tampa.
They have a third place schedule, not a last place.
Oh, were the Panthers last?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Unbelievable.
My bad. I should have known that because the TBDs were at last in my division. Rams, I think.
Yep.
I don't know. I'll go Bucks.
I'll go Rams, and let's let Kyle choose. I think Rams have a decent shot. I love Jalen Ramsey.
Who don't?
Yeah,
This light is getting brutal.
No, I'll lean towards Bucks. I mean,
worse.
I could see that that's an upset game. I see the point that you're coming with, Nick, but I don't know. For some reason, I trust in the Buccaneers offense, maybe a little bit too much. And I think they could be overpowering enough.
For anybody who doesn't know, if we haven't brought it up, I can't remember. We've been giving Kyle flack for 4 years as a low-key Patriots fan because he always talks up Brady and Gronk. And every day, Gronk's coming out of retirement. Immediately, the first thing I thought of was, yay, I get to hear Kyle in our chat post again, double cover Gronk. Because that's all he said every year, and it drove me nuts.
No one listened.
And now you're just
I think the key, Kyle, the key to beating Tom Brady and the Patriots is not throwing interceptions on the 1 yard line.
Well, now you didn't have to do that.
Nick
that was just mean.
He took out Kyle. Nick, the new
everyone's taking out everyone today.
Taking us out. I can't believe this. All right, Chiefs at Bucks.
Unreal.
I think the Chiefs slaughter them. I think the Bucks have to have one horrible loss at least, and I think it'll be the Chiefs. I think Patty's going to come out and say, listen, guy, I get you moved divisions because you were scared of your young boy, but I came here to wipe you out. At home, I'm a wipe
I got my ring. I got my wife a ring.
Yeah.
I got my money.
You all agree?
I'm coming after you.
I agree.
Yeah, now he's engaged. Congrats to Patty to catch up Mahomes.
Yeah.
Vikings
done, man.
at Bucks.
Bucks.
Yeah.
Man. All right, Bucks. Then they win against the Falcons, predetermined. And then
Did you think
Bucks?
I can't believe you're so shocked about that. You're the Vikings hater always. Every year, all I hear from Alex is Vikings. Well, I'm not scared of the Vikings. Not scared of them. And then all of a sudden, we're like, well, I think the Bucks will beat them, and you're like, really? The Vikings?
What's the reason?
They'll lose?
I don't think we've had a team have this many W's before. I'm sure we have, but I'm just looking at all these W's. I'm not scared of Kirk Cousins. That's who I'm not scared of. We stomp them all the time. Well, he's not afraid of Corona. So he's all right.
Kirk Cousins has only won. Also, he's only won the division once in his career.
Exactly.
He's had a division winner once.
Bucks at Lions. Bucks at Lions. Bucks at Lions.
Win.
I think a loss.
Alex wants to move on.
That's because we have one game to talk about left, and then your boy can go to bed. Bucks at Lions. I think it's a loss because I think Matt Patricia wants to show that he can beat Brady.
And I think it's a win because I think Matt Patricia has no talent level to do so.
If my Super Bowl's any indication, I agree.
You sound like me when I talk about Adam Gase.
My
but Adam
screen
Gase,
just froze
at
on
least-
Alex's face.
Yeah, it was.
Nope.
I saw that too. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was great.
Your face,
I
you froze,
still-
Alex. And you were like,
Yeah.
I still, I mean, Matt Patricia's better than Adam Gase. But
yeah.
Is he though?
yeah,
It's a close
He's never-
competition.
He's
Matt
never
Patricia's-
coached a mediocre team. He's never coached a
yeah,
mediocre
but
team.
I'll
so
say
far.
this:
They've been
Matt
bad
Patricia's
both years.
called the plays on Super Bowl wins. Adam Gase has done nothing.
His poo poo.
So,
The
so
big
we all
poop.
say win. Is that just a win? I mean, I said loss, but Nick's arguments are hard to beat. So that's a win for the Bucks. We have the Bucks going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
I can see it.
I think that's a
I
little
would say
high.
maximum is 12.
I could see it.
It
maximum
feels a
is
little
12,
high
I
to
think.
me.
To be honest, I think if they really get off to a hot start, they could be a 14-win team. But they are a little unpredictable, so we might have them a little high for predictions. But I would not be shocked at all if they win 13 games.
I mean, I won't roll over on the ground being like, what on earth? But I think if you roll back a game each, I think if the Falcons won 6 and the Panthers can stay at 4, but if the Saints won 10 and the Bucks won 12, I feel a little bit better. But this is fine. This is a tough division. Might be the toughest in football, that or Kyle's. So
Yeah.
I'm so glad I have to play teams in both those divisions. That's fun. Sorry,
Hey,
Nick,
same.
you gotta play one of those divisions. But yeah, all right. Well, any final thing anybody want to say?
I'm
Go
curious
Pack,
about
go.
these. I'm gonna be curious about these Buccaneers, man. Like either they're gonna be Super Bowl bound or they're gonna be like the Bucks of or the Browns of last year, where it's
It'd
all
be
hype
8
and then
wins.
nothing comes out of it. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think that's gonna happen though. I think Brady will bounce back and he'll look a little better. So
Don't
it's a
you-
small worry, but
Ever disrespect the Browns like that again? The hype was deserved.
Yeah,
The hype is still deserved. Goal, dog, pound. I love Baker.
Yeah, they
I
picked
love
up a safety from the Jags, didn't they?
yeah, they actually got a steal on a pretty good safety. Like trade a
Yeah.
5th round pick for Ronnie Harrison of the Jags. I say
Love
that's
it.
pretty
The
good since they
Browns-
lost their rookie.
I think have a solid coach. Baker Mayfield gonna be flying. Odell's back. I'm ready for it. All right, guys.
They'll be
Well,
a
that
lot
is
better.
it for the Get Back Guys, episode 11. Who won the NFC South? We had the Bucks at 11-5, Bucks at 13-3, Saints at 11-5, Panthers at 4-12, and the Falcons at 7-9. Wednesday, tune in for
Love
the NFC East. It'll be a 2.5 to 4-day episode as Al screams at everybody else and is crying. Hopefully more injuries
Nick's
do not
already
happen by
sweating.
then. I can see that. All right, that's it for us. Go Birds. We'll see you next time, guys.
Later.
See you guys.
Audio Jungle.